Hey, and welcome to my quick patch notes rundown where I try to make it as consumer friendly as possible. So first up, let's go into the new jungle and roam items. So they're now based off of boots. So since I have retribution, retribution actually does what jungle knife used to do, which is it will reduce your experience and gold if you go on lane for the first 5 minutes, but increase your gold in jungle. So just by taking retribution, that effect will come in handy. Now under your shop, you can now choose which form of retribution you want. So you have 3 different ones you can choose from. You have ice retribution, which lowers the movement speed of an enemy. You have flame retribution, which absorbs the enemy's physical attack and magic power. And you have bloody retribution, which absorbs HP equal to 12% of the caster's max. Now, how you put these in effect is by buying boots, and since you have retribution, they will automatically be best with whatever buff you want. So let's go ahead and buy magic pen boots, and under jungle you will be able to switch these around. Your boots, as you can see, my retribution has not been affected. That's because we need to have 5 stacks. So let's go ahead and kill 5 jungle creeps. And as you can see, now that we have 5 stacks, we have the buffed retribution. But however, if you want to change the retribution after you bought your boots, you will actually have to sell your boots and buy them back. And with the new update, the boots only sell back to 20% of their value. So you really want to make sure that you get the right boots and you get the right retribution that you want. Now, let's look at the new revamped heroes. As you can see, we have Karina here. She's actually one of the new revamped heroes. So let's put a normal bot. They changed how her skill 1 works. You can now dash to a target when you attack them instead of having to stand right next to them. They didn't do anything to her second ability. As for her ult, they made it so she can actually jump to a target and then she can jump to a shadow clone, which she places further away. It also leaves a target on the mark on the enemy, so if that enemy dies before the mark runs out, it will reset the cooldown of your ult. And with her first ability, they also made it so whenever you take damage, you actually deal damage back to the person that dealt damage to you. So let's go ahead and test it over here in blue buff, I guess. Let's put it on. As you can see, she does splash damage around her. If she gets attacked by ranged attacks, she will actually shoot back at the enemy. So Karina seems to be super strong now. I definitely think you should give it a go. So as for Sun, you can now see that he has 4 skills. His first skill is pretty much the same as it used to be, but now it also summons a doppelganger even if you don't hit an enemy target. His second ability shares cooldown with his first ability and is basically a teleportation. So you throw it out, and then you teleport to the new place, and where you threw it from, you'll spawn a doppelganger. So let's see, if I fight this one, I throw out the dagger, I'll put over here and my doppelganger will start attacking. His second ability is pretty much the same as it used to be, that you and your doppelgangers will both strike an enemy target and dash towards them. Other than that, they increased the AI movement of your doppelganger and they optimized how your HP reflects on the doppelganger. That's it for Sun. Now, since I'm playing on another hero, we can actually check out roam items. So I forgot to mention this, last I didn't really understand it, but roam items buff do not apply until you gained at least 600 gold from the roam item itself, and the effects of the roam item will get buffed all the way up to when you received 1500 gold. It pretty much works as how it did with jungle item. You choose which one you want to put on your boots when you buy them. First up, we have conceal. It's gonna work the same way pretty much as the old roam item does. It makes you invisible, increase your movement speed by 30 to 75%. This gets buffed by how much gold you got from having the support of roam item. And then we have encourage, which passively buffs nearby allies' heroes' physical and attack magical power by 15 up to 34 or 38, which again is scaled by the gold you earned from having the roam item. It will also buff the attack speed by 15%. Now we have favor. This is a new addition that every 15 seconds that you cast a healing spell or a shield skill, you will heal people around you or a target around you for 480 up to 1200. Again, this scales with the gold you gain from the roam item to the lowest target HP hero around you. If you, however, have a healing skill that just heals you, this does not trigger this effect. And next up, we have Dire Hit, which is also a new ability, which can be used every 30 seconds. That the next time that your hero deals damage to an enemy hero and that they drop beneath 35% HP, it will then deal bonus damage equal to 7 till up to 18% of their target maximum HP. This again scales with how much gold you have from your roam item. Since we are on items, let's talk about the new item War Axe, which passively gives you additional physical attack, HP, and cooldown reduction. The passive of this War Axe is that you enter a battle state once you deal damage, which increase your physical attack by 8 and your penetration by 4 for up to 3 seconds, and you can get up to 8 stacks of this. If, however, you are a marksman, mage, support, you will only have half of this. If you manage to reach full stacks, you will increase your movement speed by 20%. So let's go ahead and see that in effect. I did buy the item. As you can see, my damage is slightly going up every time I hit him. Next up, we have Shadowed Twin Blades, which give you passively magic power, magic lifesteal, and give you movement speed. The unique passive of it is that if you have not taken damage within the last 5 seconds, your next basic attack will deal extra magical damage equal to 200 plus 50% of your magical power. It will also inflict slow on the enemy target for 1.5 seconds. And now, as you can see, if I strike this target, I should now deal, it has there, it deals bonus 179 damage. Lastly, we have Radiant Armor, which passively increase your HP by 800, magic defense by 52, and give you 12 health regen. The passive of the item is that it increase your magical damage reduction by 4 up to 11 whenever you take magical damage, and how much it reduces is based off your level. And it lasts up for 3 seconds and can stack up to 6 times. So for Alpha, I'm not entirely sure how to show his passive, but they changed it so that now that you have stacked up your passive twice, you can see Alpha will attack 3 times, dealing true damage to the target, and the last attack will be AoE. So basically, you want to hit a target 2 times with abilities, and then Alpha will poke them 2 times and a 3rd time with AoE damage. The second ability is pretty much the same. They just changed that there's an after effect where Alpha deals damage in the same fan shape that you do. As for Alpha's ult, pretty much works the same that it used to do. You go towards an area, you knock them up, they then get slung into the ground. However, now Beta will also attack the target area 5 times with AoE damage. As for Minotaur, they changed that his passive can now, every time he enters rage mode, it actually reduces all of his cooldowns down to 1, which the biggest change will be if you use the ultimate where you smash the ground 3 times, whenever you go into rage mode again, that ult will be back off cooldown. Back in the day, you would have to wait for that to get off cooldown, and you actually would not know when it's off cooldown because you can't actually see this ability. But now, every time you enter rage mode, you are 100% certain that you will have your AoE stun. Second up, they changed his second ability. He still heals around him, but now it also empowers his attacks. As you can see, I was doing 130, now I'm doing 316. Lastly, I just quickly want to go through the new hero and item adjustments and some other minor things that you really should know before you start playing that you might not notice. So, first up, we have Arcus. They nerfed his basic attack damage on his passive. He can now, however, put bleeding on if creeps with his second ability, and they reduced the cooldown of his ultimate by 5 seconds. So this seems alright, a little bit less damage, but at least he gets his ult a little bit faster. As for Sask, they pretty much changed his Nightmare Spawn when he uses his ult, so that it deals a little bit less damage. It, however, has more HP. I don't know exactly what the skill 3 means, that the damage after the 5th swarm of Nightmare Clone decays. I don't know what that means, I'm sorry. As for Xbox, they buffed his damage on skill 1, and they buffed the damage of his ultimate. For Natalie, they just buffed her base HP and how much HP she gains per level. On Lunox, they buffed her skill 1, so she now deals a percentage based off of the enemy's maximum HP. So a huge damage buff on Lunox. On Esmeralda, they buffed the damage of her second ability. On Chang'e, they nerfed her first skill's base damage. And also they reduced how much movement speed she gains doing ultimate by 10%. So half the movement speed. On Joehead, they nerfed how much shield he gains when he uses his skill 2. Now this one is pretty important, how they calculate damage in the game now. So before this update, you can reduce someone's armor and magic resist down to 0. But now you can actually reduce it by -60. Which means that if you have a ton of magic pen or physical pen, you'll actually be able to deal bonus damage if your enemy does not have much defense. So let's say that you deal 100 damage pre-patch, you would just, and you reduce the enemy defense to 0, you will deal 100. But now, if you could reduce it down to -60, with your 100 damage, you'll now deal 160 damage. They also changed how they calculate your penetration. So before, they would reduce it by the flat amount and then the percentage. But now they reduce it by the percentage and then the flat amount. To paint a picture, I'll do a quick demonstration. So let's say we reduce someone's armor by 50% and a flat amount of 10. So pre-patch, you would reduce it to 90 with the 10 flat. And then by 50%, so down to 45 armor and magic resist. Now, however, you first reduce it by the 50%, so down to 50. And then reduce it by the flat by 10, so down to 40 defense. So in general, you will actually be reducing a little bit more now because you reduce it by the percentage first. To combat this, however, they gave every hero 5 more basic magic defense. And they also reduced the magical penetration you gain from arcane boots and genius wand by 3. And next up, we have some item reworks. They reduced the price of Sea Halberd. They also reduced the damage of it. They changed how you have to build it up. You no longer can actually buy the little item to reduce someone's healing. But they also changed how you can inflict the anti-heal. Before, you had to hit them with auto attacks, but now you can also hit them with skills. As you can see, dealing any type of damage will now trigger your anti-heal. Same goes for Necklace of Durance. You can now trigger Necklace of Durance just with auto attacks. As for Dominance Ice, they removed the slow effect, but now instead you reduce enemies' healings and shield regen by 50%. So just like Necklace of Durance and Sea Halberd, tanks now actually have an anti-heal item. I don't want to keep you guys for too long, so the next few items I'm just going to show you and you can read yourself. We have Malefic Roar, Divine Glaive, Twilight Armor, Queen Wings, Golden Staff, Blade of the Heptates, Rose Gold Meteor, Magic Blade, Blade Armor, Enchanted Talisman, Blood Wings, Hash Claw, Hunter Strike, Corrosion Scythe, Fleeting Time, Thunderbelt, Guardian Helmet, Wind of Nature, Winter Tundran, Lightning Tundran, Brute Force Breastplate, Antique Cuirass. And they changed Odd Potion to now be called Throw Forbidden. Now, battle spell adjustments. Purify now has a new effect where it removes all slow effects. And it gains the movement speed boost you got has now been reduced down to 15%. Sprint now gives you 10% increased movement speed from what it used to be. Now, this one is actually kind of interesting. For roaming, they wanted you to get level 2 faster on roaming heroes, so they actually reduced how much experience you need to reach level 2. And then to combat this, they've increased how much XP you need to level 3. So you need the same amount of experience to reach level 3, but you will now get level 2 faster. Another small thing, roaming items will no longer take effect in 1v1 matches. So if you're doing 1v1s, you should no longer buy a roam item. So here's some other things. Ultra Graphics is now supported on more devices, so you should check out if you can now use Ultra Graphics. They added the custom UI feature, and in general they just did some optimization on how fast you load the screen. As you can see, my device is still not supported by Ultra, but I am on PC, so I guess that can kind of be why. And if you now go into interface, you now have this option called custom UI, where you can actually make presets. Let's go ahead and choose preset 2, for example. I will be able to, if I wanted to have my alt up here, I could do that, or my heal over here, I can do that. So yeah, I can actually change a lot of things around, which is super cool. And you can also decrease the size or increase the size if that's something you want, or make it more transparent if you think it's in the way. For example, so you could put these out here and then make them less, not that big, or make them very big so you can target specific heroes easier. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. You guys should definitely check that out. You can even choose, if you have heroes with 4 skills, you can choose the layout here. So definitely very cool. Check it out. You can even change this bar up here, or this bar here. A lot of things can be moved. Even the minimap can be changed. And with that, I hope this video wasn't too long. I tried to make it as graphic as possible. Hope you enjoyed and learned a little bit about the new patch. If you did, make sure to leave a like, maybe subscribe, and let me know what I can do better for the next patch review.